So guys, before we get to episode 3, I just want to cut in and talk about episode 2 because I got some feedback, and I love feedback. I think it's fantastic. But there are a few people who were concerned because I had saddled a 2-year-old in the second episode in the cross ties and turned my back on him and really kind of given the sense that I didn't really watch him or pay attention to him as a young horse. And it's a valid concern. It's definitely a valid criticism. And so to that, I guess I want to say 2 things. One, I was planning to show this horse in his progression. So when we shot that video, we were on day 10, from day 1 to day 10. So there's quite a jump there. And that horse had been saddled multiple times in the days earlier. And when we got back to shooting again, we were on day 10. We're going to shoot day 10. Actually, when you watch episode 3 here, it's day 12. So I really had the idea to show that horse in his own progression. And secondly, every individual is different. I mean, I have horses definitely in here that I start that take days and weeks to get through the same number of things. And there's moving their feet and all of that, off the pressure left and right. What happened in this case is the 2-year-old that I picked to do this series with happens to be one of the best minded 2-year-olds I've started in a long time. So everything that I do with him happens really naturally. It's you give it to him one day, tomorrow you move on to the next thing, the next day you move on to something else. And so Tynes been incredibly good-minded that way. And so what I don't want to do is give you the sense that I just simply go from one thing to the next and I turn my back on a horse in the cross ties and that's a young 2-year-old that's just been saddled for the first time. That wasn't my intention in episode 2. Episode 2 really was day 10, and that's a very, very good-minded horse. So if you guys like this kind of thing, if you want to see more colt starting, if you want to see more details, talk to me. Make sure you comment, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, help us build this channel and make it bigger. And we'll do more 2-year-olds. I'll start more colts, and you'll see some of them really have to go through a process of desensitizing and helping them understand what their job is going to be for the next 10, 15 years. This colt just kind of sideswiped me with being the best colt that I've started in a long time. So he really does make it look simple, but I don't want any of you to get into trouble thinking that on day 2 I threw a saddle on him in the cross ties and walked away and it was that easy. Typically it's not. In this case, showcasing this particular animal, that is how simple it is for him. And we were actually on day 10 of working with time when we shot episode 2. So, like, subscribe, help me with this channel, give me more feedback, let me know if you want more colt starting. We'll definitely shoot other horses here in the barn that definitely have a different journey, but keep the comments coming and make sure that you talk to me. I love the feedback. It's the best thing that you can do. So enjoy episode 3, have fun with this. I think we're gonna keep going on this horse. I'm really enjoying him. He's been a lot of fun to work with.
All right, dude, come over here. We go to work? Come here. How's it going? What's going on today? All right, so it's day number 12. Tynes been here a couple days more than that. I guess we're probably at about 15 days now. But we're gonna put the Boselle in today and we're gonna step up on him a little bit and see. So I'm gonna go back through the same process. Come on, dude. Lunge him a little bit. See how he feels. He's been on the walker for the last, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. So he's walked pretty good. Just cinch him up, make sure this thing's tight before we turn him loose. Hey, you okay today? Seems pretty good. Come on, let's go get a lunge whip. I like this colt a lot. He's got a good mind, he's got a real good presence, he's super zippy and he's got good feet, but he doesn't really have any fight in him. He doesn't want to really give you a hard time, and he kind of, already has shown like a lot of softness and kind of moves off really good. I think he's going to be a lot of fun. At this point, I just start pushing him up from behind, and I'm going to take a little hold of his face, the same as I would in the Boselle. I just kind of feel where I can pull on him and push on him at the same time. and try to get him to give me his nose a little bit, you know, and step up there. If he softens, I'm just going to let him stretch down. Then I'll go over here, kind of pull on him again, push on him. You know, if he gets strong on me, I'll bring that whip up behind, just start to push him a little bit, let him soften. There we go. And I want to get him used to just, you know, me kind of pulling on his face a little bit. So I'm not just lunging the horse to go chase it in circles. There we go. I just kind of push on him, pull on him, push on him. If he stretches down, if he gets tight there, I can push on him a little more. And then soften up, pull on him. Now, if he changes directions, we're just going to keep that pressure on until, there you go, you see him lick his lips a little bit there. Keep going. Oh, he's a little stiff this morning, so I'm just going to push on him until he can pay a little more attention to me. Everybody wants me, you know. Phone rings like crazy. See, now you see there, I like that because this colt, if you get sidetracked or, you know, if you're not pushing on him, he's pretty happy to just slow down and relax. You know, he's not getting busy. So I like that in a colt. You can get sidetracked and they kind of stay focused. It's a little stronger this way. He wants to really drop that shoulder. You can see he kind of drops into me. So I'm going to pull on him a little more. And I don't need him to lope right now, so I'm actually going to keep that pressure on until he softens up there. See, at this point, I want to teach him to handle the pressure and to handle the gaits. So you kind of keep that pressure on when he lopes off. He drops that shoulder in, I'm going to take hold of him and kind of chase on him a little bit. You know, and there's going faster is not really the answer. I just need him to push up. There we go. Let him lick his lips for a second, then we'll send him off the other way. We'll change directions a few times just so we get a little better here. You see how he gets kind of stuck? So I'm not going to walk around and try to change directions on him. I'm going to go up beside his face here until he moves those feet. You see that? And that way I start teaching him that I run the show. I move his feet, I tell him where to go and what to do. And he doesn't run my show. And that's really important because as soon as you take a step back, you see, that's one of those things that if you imagine horses out in the field and you put a water bucket or you put some hay out there, the horse that runs the show is going to walk straight at the thing that they're going to. And everyone else in that herd is going to adjust their motion, is going to move their feet to get out of that lead horse's way. And it's very similar when you're working with a colt here. You know, if I want to go someplace, I'm going to go there and he has to figure out how to move his feet to go around me. If I take steps back or if I step out of the way and he starts to step into my space, he's not going to start to push on me intentionally. I believe it's just the way that they're built. If they move your feet, they run the show. If you move their feet, you run the show. So I'm going to send him off again. I'm going to step up here, kind of put that pressure on and make him figure out a way to get himself out of my path of travel. And in that sense, they start to get really respectful and really soft because they know that you manage their feet. And as long as you're good with them, they like that kind of structure. Okay, we're going to change directions again. He's a little strong, but I'm going to step right up there and say, here, you figure out how to get your feet out of my way. You see him get real soft and he starts to pay attention to you real quick. and change back the other way. So I'm just going to go across. I go up to that eye. He says, that's the wrong way. There, let the pressure off. So then the other thing that I'm going to do before I get in, you know, putting that Bosel in, start pulling him around and stepping in that stirrup, we just got to make sure that we can break his hip loose by taking hold of his face and kind of getting that disengagement, you know, and I'm sure you guys have heard about that before, disengaging the hindquarters. I don't want to totally pull them around and do too much of that one rein stop stuff, because I find personally they start to get too bent and they don't really get around good. I like them to go forward and stay driving and you know, connected from the back. But if I take hold of that horse's face and he goes up and he kind of takes off and he pulls on me, I do have to be able to pull him around and make sure that I can get that hip broken loose at least a little bit, you know. So we're going to do that a couple times on the lunge line. I'm going to send him out, you know, and he's going to send himself out there, and then I'm just going to pull and step up there, and I want to make sure that he softens up and gets a release for kind of paying attention to me. I'm going to send him off the other way. So I'm going to keep that pressure on until he finds where he needs to go with his feet. There we go. Jog him. Now I'm going to draw on him. Make sure he pays attention. Now that was a little bit aggressive. I'd actually like it to be smoother. He doesn't have to snap around. He just, when I draw, see, that was a little better. I'd actually like soft leg movement. I don't really like that snappy, aggressive. You know, I like them to be soft through their body. So now I'm going to step there and kind of break him loose. That's a little better. Send him off again. There we go. Cool. So that's one of those things. I just want to make sure that I can get a hold of one in his nose a little bit before I get on and find out he's stiff as a board. I think that's a horse trainer's motto or slogan. We facilitate bad decisions. All right, so we haven't put this one in on him before. Just shape that up. I love this Bosel so much. I love the way it just hangs there. Just fits around their nose. I use this thing every day. You guys want to know something funny? This is my work Bosel. I use this every day here in the barn. But this is also the same Bosel that I took to Scottsdale in February, and I showed that Arabian in the open futurity there in the same work Bosel that I use at home. And that's something, I showed that horse in my work saddle there because it felt the best to sit in at that moment, that day. And I took this very same Bosel, didn't change anything on it, took it down there, showed my horse in it, rode my horse in it. You know, you don't need fancy stuff. You got to go there with a horse that's broke. They don't judge you on what you're riding in as long as it's clean and useful. Come here, Fred. Oh, yeah, I like him now, Lucas. Did you hear that? I just called him Fred. They're all Fred when I like them. So, you know, that's something that I feel strongly about. You know, it's really important. And maybe that's a bit my history. You know, I didn't ride a horse till I was 17 years old. So I came from, you know, I wanted to do this, and I didn't have horses or the money to have horses or the background or the parents to have horses. And so, you know, my first carrot stick was a switch from the Caragana hedge behind the barn and some baler twine tied to the end of it. And I've always kind of been that sort of person, you know, like the concept and the physics are the same, whether you've got that fancy stuff or you've got your working stuff. So I'm just going to take hold of him a little bit. I'm just going to pull his nose around, and you can see I want his hind end to disengage just a little bit. I might cluck at them. That helps me move their feet a little bit. They seem to get that, almost like clicker training, I guess. There you go. So I haven't stood on this horse at all yet. I haven't put my foot in the stirrup. So this might be interesting. Again, I'm not going to push the horse any further than he needs to be pushed, but he might jump a little bit. See? Just get him a little quieter. So I'm going to keep that pressure on until his feet slow down. So as his feet quit moving, we'll take that pressure off and we let him lick his lips a little bit. He'll get to feeling like, you know what you have to teach them at this point is when they get pressured up, that the best response is to slow down. You know, it's the same when you're lunging him. You know, the best response isn't for him to just run harder and get more tired and more sweaty. The best response when I rattle on him, you see he's better already. He says, oh. So you've got to just set into that brain right off at the beginning that when they get pressured or they get spooked about something, the best response for them is to just relax, you know, just kind of settle down. Going faster is very seldom the right answer at this level. You know, if you have one that's super lazy or super stressed, you know, and doesn't go, you might push on it and work more on moving its feet. But, you know, when they get busy, you just got to make sure that you keep that pressure on a little bit. And you see, that's where it's important that I can get his jaw a little bit. Whee! Saying we'll just keep that pressure on till he can quit with his feet. It's good for him. You know, he's about to die, but he doesn't know he's going to survive it yet. We just got to teach him he'll survive. There you go. Now we got to watch that he doesn't step back. I don't like when they stiffen up and suck back like that. I'll actually put pressure on him so he does step forward. You don't want him to stiffen his neck up at this point and suck back. There you go. Well, see, he still wants to a little bit, but there you go. Now I'm going to soften up and I'm going to let him walk around a little bit and just follow his nose. And try to move his front feet. There we go. Try to move his front feet. Let him figure that out. There. There you go. All right. We'll see how soft he is over here. Come back to this side. Start a little softer. We don't want to scare him, but we do have to move his feet or, you know, push on him a little bit. There you go. I can hear him kind of hiccuping under his breath, you know. They breathe a little heavy and then they do that little hiccup, you know. There you go. There you go. You're fine. I take my time. I'm never in a big hurry to prove a point with these colts because, you know, sometimes you get training on the horse and sometimes the horse will get training on you. And I don't like to be trained on. Huh? There you go. There you go. It's okay to be nervous, you know. Nervous is good. All right, let's move your feet again. I can kind of move him till he gets a little softer. There. There you go. See? So I always kind of sit side saddle on him the first couple times because, you know, once you put your leg over that thing, you're committed. Now I can kind of sit here a little bit and pet on him. See, and I just kind of work on his nose there a little till he softens up. And that's a little trick that keeps me from having to, you know, commit hardcore the first time and find out that he's going to train on me. There you go. We'll just wait till he slows his feet up. Get soft again. There's kids here having lessons and he uses the whip to chase the cat, you know. It's a terrible idea. There we go. There you go, you're good. You're good. Good job. Good job. See now, if he gets too busy or too worried, I can step down. There's no point. There's no point to break him, you know, or get him scared. I'm just going to hold that till he gets soft. Takes a little extra balance to sit on one sideways like that quietly. There you go. But it's safer. It's safer than being 100% committed right away and then finding out you opened a can of worms you can't empty. There you go. Draw him around again, just like I did before. I want him to just kind of step around and get soft and move his front feet, because then, there you go, look at him lick his lips there. Nobody died. See? Nobody died. You're good. Just get soft. There you go. There you go. Move your feet. There you go. Good job, dude. Yeah. Now, where's the whip when we need it now? So, we've got this far. It's the first time I've sat on this colt. A good friend of mine, Gord Hester, he always said the first thing that you do when you get on a young horse is you get the heck off. Because you know what? There's not a whole lot else we can teach him here. It's day 10, day 12 today, and he's trying to be good. I can soften up. His neck feels soft. His head feels soft. I can feel on him. I got my leg over here, put my leg on him. You know, I've always said that if you hurry up on a horse, you might get someplace 2 weeks faster than somebody else. But I've never yet had a customer phone me back with a good horse that went on to be a good riding horse for a long time and tell me they wished I'd hurried 2 weeks faster. You know, 6 months down the road, 6 years down the road, when you've got a good-minded horse that never got scared, you're never going to wish that that horse trainer had got on it 2 weeks faster. But I'll tell you, if you open a can of worms that you can't empty, you start with a problem. There you go. Look at how soft that is. And I bet you we get down here, he licks his lips again. Hey? What do you figure, dude? We'll let him just think about that, because that's, you know, you can chip away at him 5 or 6 days a week. There you go. Little bit at a time. And if you just put those little tiny building blocks in every day, you never have to worry about suddenly having a hole in your program. So, we've got this far. I'll probably take a couple days and mess around just like that. I would say, you know, by day 16, day 18, you know, you'll probably see me getting on and starting to walk him around, jog him around, do stuff with him. I'm in no hurry with this colt because he's been smart and he's tried to be good every time. So we're just going to chip away at him. But enjoy that. That's, you know, that's kind of what happens when you get these 2-year-olds in. It's a lot of fun and I enjoy it immensely. I love 2-year-olds. So hope you guys enjoy watching.